Canada and our allies believed that engagement would lead to democracy. We falsely believed that ignoring the sharp edges of communism would, over time, smooth them out by putting trade ahead of our values. Canada was so committed to this belief that we happily joined our allies in accepting China into the World Trade Organization, a decision that we now know had catastrophic impacts on Canadian workers. China has violated numerous conditions under which it was admitted to the World Trade Organization. That isn't surprising. Everything carried out by the Chinese Communist Party is deliberate and planned, from their lobbying campaign of Western politicians to secure that WTO admission, to their efforts at disrupting our industries by dumping state-subsidized cheap commodities and ignoring intellectual property laws. The rise of Huawei was itself facilitated by years of industrial espionage conducted by China against Nortel. When we talk about the jobs that we've outsourced to China, we're not just talking about textile manufacturing. It is advanced manufacturing, technology, and jobs we believe are the jobs of the future. Intellectual property theft, counterfeiting, and digital piracy are not exceptions to our dealings with China. They are the reality. And it's high time our government and many corporate leaders realize that. We may have lost Nortel to Huawei. We can't undo that, but we can and must learn from it. Because if we don't, we have to accept that another company will be next. I cannot say this enough. The conflict we currently have is with the Chinese Communist Party, not the Chinese people. And we must also recognize that the Chinese state speaks for the party, not for its people. Facing a challenge as big as this will require a national effort, from the highest levels of government to the individual choices of consumers. We must speak openly about the stakes at hand. Chinese web of influence not only undermines our government's response, it shakes our citizens' trust. While the Trudeau government is ignoring the problem, Canadians are worried we aren't doing enough to stand up to Chinese aggression. But now is the time to act. This is what our motion intends to do. First, we call upon the government to finally grow a spine and make a decision on Huawei's involvement in Canada's critical 5G network within 30 days of the adoption of this motion. Second, we ask that the government develop a robust plan, as Australia has done, to combat China's growing foreign influence operations here in Canada and its increasing intimidation of Canadians. A draft plan, which the government had years to prepare, should be tabled within 30 days of the adoption of this motion. Canada likes to be a leader, but we can only conclude that we are literally the last of the Five Eyes allies when it comes to dealing with Huawei. All countries but us have taken the decision to ban Huawei from their critical 5G infrastructure. Are the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, and New Zealand so misguided that we would not follow their advice? As for foreign interference, our Australian friends, with far more risks in bilateral trade, have tackled the threat to their institutions and their democracy head first. Others are acting while we are dithering. We must rethink our approach.